This 4 years ago when I moved to Mexico on a one-way ticket. It was the heat of the pandemic, and I got laid off from my job, and I gave myself, okay, let's see what's going to happen with this business, right? And it was a very small little coaching business at the time, and I was just helping other, new entrepreneurs figure out their identity out, figure out what they want to do, help them create an offer to really scaling that business super quickly, because the height of the pandemic, coaching was hot. Yes. Everyone wanted to work remote. Everyone wanted that freedom lifestyle. And I quickly took that bullet and I went straight into Mexico and started promoting the digital nomad lifestyle and the freedom. And even to today.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Masters in Action. I'm so excited today. I have an amazing guest. I've been waiting a long time for this one. I have talked to her. We've been introduced through a friend, and it was such an organic conversation that we had at first. And I was just like, you know what? I need you in my podcast. And she said yes. And I'm so happy to present her to you today. It's Elaine Sung. Actually, tell me how you say your name correctly. I just want to make sure if I said it right.
The T silent.
Okay.
So it's like sun. Yeah.
Oh, a sun. Oh, it's even better.
Yeah.
I said sung. I need to say sun. And you look like a sunshine today, to be honest.
Thank you so much for having me on here.
Thank you for coming.
I'm just honestly so grateful how I met you at Brand Up Summit here in Montreal a few months ago.
Absolutely.
And you were like, oh, you know Lynn. We know Lynn. I was just like, oh my gosh, like which Lynn? I'm like, the Lynn from New York.
It's crazy that we met in Montreal, and it was actually through a friend that lives in New York. And let me just tell that little story. One of my friends that lives in New York, a great DJ, an amazing person, like she has that natural gift to just connect people together. And she said, you know what, you should go to this event. And she sent me the flyer. I was like, no, I'm a home girl. I love to stay home and I enjoy my space. Yes. And I was just like, you know what, why not? It talks about branding. I do need branding. And I was also in the process of changing and rebranding my podcast, my business. So I was like, let me go. And I have to say, this event was such an amazing event. And the quality of people over there, like I've made so many great connections, including you, of course. But I do not regret for a second the energy that I was getting. Like everybody was so joyful. Like we're like under the sun,
Under the sun. Under the sun.
So,
I love it.
Elaine, it's just crazy to me that you met Lynn back in Mexico.
Yes.
And now you moved to New York, and now you're here in Montreal throwing events. Like, I need to understand, who is Elaine Sung? Like, because I feel like you have so much to say, such an amazing journey. And this is why it's exciting for me to have you here
Thank you.
Talk about your entrepreneurship journey, but as well as talk about what is it that you do in your web agency. So take the lead.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me here again.
My pleasure.
I guess how do I describe my personality? This is my number one question that I ask to my clients when I onboard them as a branding client. What is describe your personality? And the way I describe it is I'm a serial entrepreneur.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm a generator in human design. I love that. I love having that energy.
Yeah.
I'm always thinking about what is my next offer? What's my next event? What is my next trip? I'm always thinking ahead, and I love creating.
Yeah.
I love the freedom. I love to be able to create. I'm a digital nomad. Yes, I do live in Montreal, but I also own a 2-bedroom condo in Mexico. So I live there part-time as well for the year. So I'm able to kind of have a flexibility where I want to be. I've founded 2 businesses in the last 4 years that have both scaled to 6 figures and beyond.
Wow.
And now I currently have a team of 6 designers, and I own a website design agency. I really focus on working with entrepreneurs who are coaches, consultants, they're agency owners, maybe they are health and wellness professionals, and we really focus on bringing their brand out through designing, right? Through social media marketing, through website designing, through branding. And so that's what I love to do. So I'm like that. I like to call myself the optimizer.
Absolutely.
Optimizing
I love that.
people's businesses from creating of, what their identity is, inventing their identity, to launching their offers, to marketing, to sales, and just to really like see the bigger picture as well. And that's the type of work that I love doing.
Yeah, I love that. That's like a full experience, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Why web design? How did you got into web designing, and why a web design agency? Because you did mention you had multiple business prior to this one. Why? What other business? Could you mention them?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was doing coaching before I started my website design agency. And honestly, the website design agency, it kind of just came to me by accident. It was never really part of my intention as an entrepreneur to start a website design agency, given I'm not a website designer. But I guess we take this 4 years ago when I moved to Mexico on a one-way ticket. It was the heat of the pandemic, and I got laid off from my job, and I gave myself, okay, let's try this.
Thank you, job.
Thank you to my recruitment world, and my past identity of recruitment. And I basically moved to Mexico on a one-way ticket. I was like, let's see what's going to happen with this business, right? And it was a very small little coaching business at the time. And I was just helping other, new entrepreneurs figure out their identity out, figure out what they want to do, help them create an offer, to really scaling that business super quickly, because the height of the pandemic, coaching was hot.
Yes.
Everyone wanted to work remote. Everyone wanted that freedom lifestyle. And I quickly took that bullet and I went straight into Mexico and started promoting the digital nomad lifestyle and the freedom. And even to today, still promote that. It's still a part of my core values. And I feel like, as you continue to scroll and grow your business, your core values and the way you put your brand vision out there, it's always consistent and stays the same, right? And so from that business, a lot of my clients were like, okay, like, I love your website. Like, who built it? And then I started like switching an idea in my head. I was like, what if my team, my designers who know how to design, they have 10 years worth of design experience to build my clients' website? What does that look like? And I will obviously charge a markup on it. Wow. So it makes sense and it's profitable. And so I started doing that slowly. And then more and more clients just wanted done for you services. They didn't want to do the work. They didn't have time to do the work. They weren't even experts to doing the work. So like, can you design my social media graphics? Can you design my website? Can you make me a logo? And I saw that huge potential of realizing I can scale back on my time and grow an agency.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's
Let's
how I was able to do it.
I don't want you to talk about team building right now. I'm also interested about the type of person that you're actually selling your services to, because from what you just mentioned, you started as a digital nomad, so your clientele were digital nomads as well.
Exactly.
Okay, that's amazing. Yes. And so how do you come up with approaching them? How did they reach out to you concerning a website? It's just that they knew, so you were kind of marketing yourself as a website designer at some point.
I market myself as a personal brand, and I market myself as a like optimizer, as an expert, right? And I always put online like my team and we created this website in which I am a part of the website design experience. I'm part of the full spectrum of the optimization. The problem is that I see with website designers, website developers, UX, that you're very specialized into this one field, right? And you're specialized in that. But then as a website designer, they're not copywriters. They're not technical. And so if I'm able to bridge in all these expertise and bring all the right people in there, and I'm able to teach them what a consultant needs, what a coach needs in the online space, they understand it. They're able to, design it, but then I'm also part of the experience as well, because I can tell them this is what we need to change and this is how we're going to, create an optimized website so that it leads to conversions, right? Because at the end of the day, it's the sales that matter. It's not about having a pretty website.
Yeah, I love that. And I feel like that's actually the difference. I would remove UX from that category, just because as a UX designer, I actually realized that it's not just about building wireframe. It's not just about making a website look user friendly.
Exactly.
It's definitely about business needs as well.
Exactly.
And that's why I led into also making sure that whatever website I'm designing, it actually convert. It creates more leads. The call to action or actually working,
Exactly.
So this is definitely something that as a UX designer, when I started, I was really focusing on making sure that the design just look as functionable as possible.
Yes.
But I do understand with experience that it leads to really making sure there's a really strong marketing part on that field. How'd you get to this point where you were like, you know what, I do need a team to work with? Because obviously you were not a UX designer, but so what was the process of you getting that team, bringing that team together?
Absolutely. So I actually had my first contractor, my first designer, before I made my first dollar in my business. And I think that is so important to invest in good branding, in proper, strategy of what your brand is and your identity is before you start going out there making a dollar. So my team and two of my team members who have started for me from the very beginning of my business are still with me today.
Wow, I love that.
And so I'm so grateful for them because they are kind of like the OGs. They're the ones who created this agency with me, and huge
that
shout
is
out
so
to them.
good.
Nancy
I love that
Buena.
you mentioned investing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like as entrepreneurs, this is something that we struggle with.
100%.
We are so afraid to invest before we actually see the return.
Yeah.
We actually see that the business is thriving, that we have a steady income, which is, as an entrepreneur, never going to happen. I'm sorry, I'm just throwing this out there. There's always that fluctuation when it comes to your income. And for me, it's to learn how to be comfortable in the income fort of just not having always the same amount coming in your account, but always making sure that you invest in a way that it's going to bring you income no matter what.
Exactly.
But not knowing how much it's going to be. So it was definitely a risk for you to do this, to hire this designer. And we spoke about it, actually.
Yeah.
We spoke about it on her conversation. And I just don't want to give too much right now. But let me just jump right into it anyways. So you mentioned that you have different levels of designers. And I thought this was so brilliant because I'm in the process of hiring as well. And you did mention that you have seniors, you have beginners. And so how do you manage all these designers and making sure that you attribute them the right project? So just let me understand how you function and what's really your logic in hiring more than one designer.
Absolutely. So one thing I do want to mention, yes, it is an investment to hire a team, but at the end of the day, that investment should always give you an ROI.
Yeah.
If it doesn't give you a return on investment, then don't hire this person or don't hire this type of service, right? So for me, it was never if I hire this, then I'm going to lose money or whatnot. Yeah, sometimes it takes time to build up your business. By building that website, you have to put an upfront fee on it, but you're going to make that money back because the website's supposed to make you money.
Absolutely.
It's supposed to automate your offers for you and have all of that. But with the team specifically, and when I started my agency, I had a very senior website designer, and she knew the ins and outs of having a good website, a good design, and what that looked like. And I had a very junior designer who was actually a social media manager for me, and she was creating all my graphics for social media. And then I had my senior designer teach her on how to do website designing. And today they're both lead website designers, and now they're able to go and train the other, newer junior website designers and bring them on. But I don't believe to have the same skills. I like to have different variations of different design skills because everyone sees design in a very different way.
It's subjective.
They see it in a very different way. So I'm able to articulate, okay, this is the type of design that they like to do, something bold, something more masculine, and maybe another one's more muted, more light, more airy, more whimsical. I'm able to see the two different types of designs that they love doing, and I'm able to, okay, I have a new client and she's more of the design style that bold, I think you would do a really good job at, right? And so I kind of assign tasks like that as well, and especially with with having different levels of the team, they're able to kind of all work together in a way where not one person is fully in charge of taking on the whole website design project, which it takes about 50 to 60 hours to do a 5-page website.
Yeah.
It's long.
Yeah, it's a long process.
It's a long process.
And you haven't talked about revision as well.
And revisions on top as well.
Yeah.
So it's a long process.
Absolutely.
So if you can have a team to be able to come and support, and also with my margins too, like I'm able to increase my margins as a business owner and to scale my business a lot quicker as well with having that in place.
Absolutely. I love, I'm going back to two things that you mentioned, which is learning. So you have to teach them as well. So if you decided to hire a young, more beginner, junior designer, you had to get involved more in terms of teaching. And do you think it's still worth it when you have to invest a lot of time coaching and teaching? Do you still think that has it worth it at the end?
100%. Yeah, because they're going to remember you teaching them. They're going to remember.
Oh, she could have just go somewhere else after that, all that learning.
They can, but it really isn't about learning the skills and just taking it and doing something else with it. Like, going to another agency and doing the same skills. Like for them to stay at an agency or to stay at a company specifically, even when I look back at my 4 years ago, it was never about the work. I left, well, I got laid off, but I would have left if I didn't, there's always something more than just the work, right? Maybe it's the environment, maybe it's the management.
Absolutely. That's
I was a
true.
recruiter for 4 years, and a lot of the conversations I have with all the candidates are always about management, right? And so it's never really about the work. And if they do take the skills and become an entrepreneur, why do they not just become an entrepreneur
Absolutely.
to
They could
begin
just
with?
freelance. Absolutely.
Why are they my freelancer, right? So it's just not everyone has that motivation, that taste for entrepreneurship.
Absolutely.
Because not everyone can actually make it. 2 out of 3 businesses within the first 5 years are going to fail.
Yeah,
and
and
because
with reason.
once you start seeing the work that you put into it, and when you realize that it's never about making more money, it's so much more than that, because you will never make more money in your first 5 years of your business, because a lot of that money goes back into investing into your business. And if you're not investing back into your business, then you're not, you're not putting that effort into doing that. Right.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, that's amazing. That's true dedication.
Yeah.
The entrepreneur is true dedication. And you're totally right, because I do hear this often. Other entrepreneurs saying that, oh yeah, I can hire her. I can make sure that I coach her on how to design, how to do this, how to give her some tips on UX. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I have no control if she wants to go somewhere else. But I do believe, as you mentioned, if you decide at some point to work for someone, it's because you want that. Because being an entrepreneur is not for everyone. Definitely not for everyone. And this team is 6 members right now.
Yes. And then we have other contractors as well, like SEO, social media manager, video editor. So it's the whole package of marketing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is something else that I'm considering too, because I used to think that hiring just one designer would do the deal, but not. That's true. As a designer, I do have a totally different style. I can adapt from a client to another, but at the end of the day, you want to make sure that they enjoy what they're doing, and this is when they will perform even better.
Best.
Exactly.
Yeah. 100%.
Because I can ask you to do a minimalist design for all my clients, but if it's really not your cup of tea, you're not going to be able to express really true creativity in
100%.
I love it. And in terms of so now in terms of team building, that was definitely good tips here, and I'm going to use these for sure. And what are the challenges hiring outsourcing like this? Because I know you have such an aesthetic eye. You're a photographer as well, which you didn't mention.
Thank you.
You do photography. So how you are comfortable with what they deliver? Me, I have this difficulty to let go, like I have to have a hands-on every design that I work with other team members. So how do you finally let go? How do you okay, you know what? I think you got this. You can do it.
Yeah, definitely. That's still a challenge that I'm still working towards even till today. Like I go through every single design, website, landing page, social media graphic before my client ever sees it. But hopefully in the future, maybe this is something that I could really put more trust into my senior designers to do all the checking for me and to have that trust in them to deliver directly to the clients. But I would say like the biggest thing I also have to realize is that in order for me to scale my business, I am the biggest bottleneck in myself.
Oh my God.
Doing what I'm doing right now is not scalable. In order for me to scale is actually to let go of control, which sounds so fucking scary. It's just so scary to do, and it freaks me the hell out because my brand is my reputation is me.
Absolutely.
And every design, it has to be approved by Elaine. And how can I let go of that, right? So that's still a challenge that I'm still going through at the moment. But what I can say is that as long as I can start to let go some of the control, maybe having my team manage the junior designers, assign them the tasks, to train them. I can be out of, a few of the smaller meetings. Maybe my team can kind of take on the meetings with my clients. And so a few small adjustments can lead to a bigger reward. And as soon as I start to see that, and I'm like, okay, I've already checked the last 10 designs and there's no issues on my part, I now trust you to be able to directly send these designs to the clients, knowing that they're already Elaine approved. So
absolutely. Wow.
Yeah.
This is good. It's hard. I do believe that letting go as an entrepreneur will take time. And, but it takes a lot of understanding that, as you mentioned, this is what you need to do in order for you to really upscale your business and really save your time, save money, because being involved in any project is just not possible.
Exactly.
And I mean, a lot of people will say that in 2025, there's no need to have a website. There's so many platforms out there that can provide you the same result that a website can do. What would you respond to these people?
I would say, what if someone asks you, do you have a website? Can I have a link to your website? How are you going to respond, right? And not having a website to me is almost saying like, you're not really looking to scale your business, because any business who are scaling right now have a website, or at least have a landing page. If you don't want to have a full website, fine. Have a landing page that is your domain. If I see business emails that is your company name @gmail.com, I don't consider you a real business. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to take you seriously. like if you're saying, oh, I don't need to have a website in 2025, okay, sure, but where are you going to send people to? Especially a lot of our clients have social media, but they see your social media, and then what? Where are you going to send them to? Where are you going to put your call to action on? Like, there's nowhere to send them to. And so
there's actually a few platforms that do offer call to action, but it's still not as optimized as a website. Yeah. But what I do respond to my clients when I get that question is really that social media is overloaded with information.
Yeah.
And it's hard to retain your attention.
Yes.
But once they get to your website, it's only you. It's just about you. And you get to really showcase whatever you want.
Yeah.
And you get their full attention while they're on your website.
Yeah.
But if you send them on Instagram, they might see your post and scroll down and up to the next. Yeah. But once they are actually on your website, their whole focus is just on your brand.
Yeah.
And you really get to, with UX obviously, make sure that they do the action that you want them to do, or you lead them to the right service offering. But I do believe that with social media right now, it's just very difficult to retain attention.
Exactly.
Because it's just so much information out there. Sending your clients directly to your social media it's always a risk.
It is
always a risk. But it's true that a website is still such a statement when it comes to your business, to be like, you know what, I know this business is established because they have a well done website.
Exactly.
So if you would say, what is the proportion that you attribute to aesthetic versus sales? Or
yeah, so for me, it's not about a percentage, because not every landing page needs to lead to a sale.
Absolutely.
Right? I think every landing page should lead to a call to action in some way, building your email list, leading to a sale, book a call, or fill an application form. Those are like the most common CTAs. But for me, when I see a landing page, and a lot of the websites that we design are very visual. We love adding photos because we love working with personal brands, and we love showing their face throughout the website, having cohesive, copy to go with the visual, and then having CTAs placed throughout the website as well, and kind of bringing in like a story, like a scroll. And when you scroll, every section is like different, and it kind of gives you like that, like, I need to keep scrolling to see what's going on. It's like a slow story. There's a flow to it, right? So like one leads to, in which you did really well with your website too. I saw it. I love the arrows.
Don't bring attention to
I love the like the CTAs, and it just kind of gives you into the story, right? Because people don't just like look from top to down. They look from like left to right or right to left, and they're scanning the website. So you have to like really like
I
bring
do.
That into,
I love that.
play,
I attempt to do that, to create a story on my website. Although I do still feel like there's a lot of work. And as a designer, I have to be honest, I change my website at least once every month. I know, it's so bad. Oh my goodness, okay. It's so bad because there's actually a UX principle that we call visual consistency.
Yeah.
And if you keep changing your website, your brands, like how your users are actually going to be able to recognize you and just be like fully familiar with what you're.
But your brand stays the same.
Yeah, the brand stays the same. But if the call to action keep moving places and stuff, I do not feel as UX, this is not something I would advise. But just because I love designing, I'm just like, today I feel like this should be like a space now. It should be
love that.
So it's something I'm working on, but I enjoy design. Is truly something I enjoy. So I want to be free to do whatever I want.
Yeah.
But I'm conscious that it may affect also my visibility. But that's another story. But so now you've been you have your business, you had your agency for now 5 years. What are the big challenges that you see as a web design agency? It could also involve. What do you think about AI coming in the game right now? Do you think it's going to be your advantage? But let's start about what are the big challenges that you have faced as a business owner?
Honestly, I don't see any big problems that I have as a business owner myself. I just see the scalability of having a website design agency versus having like a VA agency, a virtual assistant agency. You see virtual assistants on a website. They're like, I'm selling virtual assistants, or not selling virtual assistants. I'm offering virtual assistants as a service, and it's $8 an hour, and we do content creation, we do website designing, and we do all these different things. And I'm just like looking at their website, and I'm like, this website is nowhere near
it shows
to a proper website, know? And I think my biggest, to me, I don't think I have competitors in my head in the past. I'm like, is my competitor Fiverr? Is my competitor, who is my competitor? But I don't think I have it, because the thing that I do is so unique in this agency that we do, and that how we approach things is very, very different, because we're very niched in the type of people that we help. And we're very niched into the type of design that we do as well. And so you can kind of see the designs that we do, and everything that we do is custom made. And that's why at the moment, I'm not sold on selling templates, but maybe, who knows, maybe in the end of this podcast launches or something, maybe we'll start selling templates. But I just don't see that, because the problem is, yes, there's AI, with, the AI tools, in which I haven't used yet, but I know that AI will be very close to creating a template, in which templates to me don't give you that personality. Absolutely. It doesn't give you that voice that you need to shine in your website. It's just going to look like a cookie cutter website that every other template type of website would look like, and I can tell, I can see the difference between a template website and a custom made website. And
you can feel it in the copyright.
You can feel it in the copyright. You can feel it in the, the aesthetics, the textures, the visuals, the call to actions, the way things are placed. If you're not a designer, your eye will be very, very different from a designer's eye.
Absolutely.
And
God, I
just
love that.
the formatting of the website just makes a huge difference, right? So
Yeah, I'm not even close to being afraid about AI. We are so well equipped as human. I mean, like the creativities come from us. Like AI has to take it somewhere, right? Yeah. So as long as we stay creative, we stay really aligned with what our users what our client wants. We always gonna be the winner in the situation. AI should always be a tool to be productive, obviously, but I when it comes to design, I don't like to use AI just because I love to be creative about what I do. Yeah. I love to really let's say that this client will talk about I have this cupcake company, and she will tell me a story about her grandpa, just showing her around in town, and I just like having that information. I just want to use those pictures. I'm like, do you have a picture of your grandpa and you holding hands, or these little touch that just as having human conversation could bring into a design. And also on pictures, but as you mentioned, a call to action, just making sure that your CDAs are aligned with what the outcome should be. Exactly. And it's hard to get that with AI. But I mean, you say you have no challenge. I do understand that it's all pink and glory, because that's how it sounds like. But I'm sure you had some challenges that came maybe early on in the building process of your agency that you wanted to share. You feel like you could give some takeaway. If I had to do this again, maybe I would do it differently.
Yeah, I think throughout my my website designing or my website agency per se, I think the biggest challenge is like knowing when to slow down and to take a break and to focus on what we're doing, and when to take action and to scale and to go after, where the agency can go, right? In my head, we've been in business for, this is our 5th year in business, but where I'm currently at and where I could have been had I, had the right mentors, had I, taken a few extra steps and taken the massive action, I could have seen this business go in a way different direction. So I think my biggest challenge is myself as the bottleneck again of taking too much control into everything that I'm doing versus allowing myself to, invest into my team, invest into mentors, invest into systems, into services that can help me grow and scale, and just know that the money will always come back.
Absolutely.
It will always come back, but if you don't
invest,
take that little
and the risk
chance and take the risk doing it, I think
I like this rather than taking a risk, taking a chance. I feel like that's the way we should actually approach that. Oh my God, there's so much information here. I'm hearing the need to hire at some point when you feel like you want to upscale. You do need to hire to make sure that you have a niche when it comes to really selling your services, finding the great niche where you can really excel. Because it feels, and you're right about that, because when I started design, it was just like, whoever needs a website, I'm here, But it doesn't work like that, because you find yourself and going in too many directions. And you have at some point to be able to know an industry enough to be really able to upscale and really push forward and be known for that. I'm hearing as well, you mentioned being productive but save time, how to save time and invest in yourself.
Invest in yourself.
Mentoring, it's very important, which I feel that I haven't reached out to mentors enough. And this is what this podcast is about. It's really reaching out to people that have been through that journey and have been successful. Because you are, in my opinion, a very successful entrepreneur, even if you're not where you want to be. Because I do know that you can go so much further. But looking at you right now, I do see a very successful entrepreneur. And just meeting you at that Brand Summit event, I was like, wow, this girl is so inspiring. Like, this is where I want to be structured. I want to be really doing my thing,
Yeah.
So you really inspired me for that, and I'm grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time, Elaine. Times is flying. Like, I can't believe that we've been talking for almost 45 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
So thank you. Thank you so much for coming here. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with everyone. I'm sure there's a lot of tips that they will be able to get from this. My audience is are like seeking advice from an entrepreneur. Yeah. And I do believe that you came at the right time in the right place. So I'm wishing you all the best. Actually, share with me, what is coming up for you? What is next? Maybe an event that you want to share.
Absolutely. So depending on when you launch this podcast, but I am launching Content Day here in Montreal.
Oh.
First week of April.
Can you give more?
Yeah. So basically Content Day, it's a day where, high valued entrepreneurs want to come and create content in a day. They're the type of entrepreneurs that are just like lost in like, I don't have the time to create content. I don't know what to do.
Oh my God, this is brilliant.
I need some professional pictures, and then also have a bit of a networking, right? So there'll be like high quality photos with me. There will be, B-roll content. We'll have a bit of a networking. We'll have, like a fun little call before the event as well, doing the mood board. We'll have like a group photo shoot. So it'll be like a half-day event. But once you come to this event and you leave, you're going to get like a whole month of content ready for you to be able to create and post. So I'm just really excited. I don't think Montreal really has like a content day like this.
No.
So bringing like entrepreneurs who are just all very passionate about creating content is going to be a fun day. So
oh my God, I love this.
First week of April, and then I'm going to have Brand Up Summit, probably closer to the summer times. I haven't decided on
here in Montreal
yet, but here in Montreal, I'm going to have that, and yeah, so those are my two events.
Yes, so we're going to see more of you in Montreal.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not going anywhere for now. You're staying here. Is it the place where you think you're finally settling?
I think so too. Like Montreal's my home base now, but I do see myself like going on a little conference trip, going back to Mexico to visit my condo, going to Europe maybe for a few weeks. Like it's always going to come back to Montreal.
You're still a digital nomad at
I'm
heart.
still a digital nomad at heart, yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. This is so good.
I
hope you guys don't miss any of these events. They're coming up. Do you have dates? Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay,
not
perfect.
Yet.
But the content day, oh my God, this is brilliant. This is so good. I'm definitely going to be there. That's for sure. And I don't want to miss the Brand Summit. Like I know what the part 1 looked like. I need to be there for part 2. Thanks again, Elaine. Thank again. You. Share, please, your social media, where they can find you.
Absolutely. You can find me on Instagram. My name is Elaine Sung, so ELAINE TSUNG. And you can also find my website as well. And I'm sure you're going to have it.
Absolutely. I'm going to make everything available in the description
And feel
box.
free to DM me on Instagram that you came from Christina's podcast. And that way I can give you a personal branding guide for free. So it's a little freebie like that for you. So
awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Enjoy this journey, and I hope to see you soon again in this podcast.
See you soon.
Okay, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.